for having me. I am a network engineer. That's what I do for a living, for those of you who don't know. And in fact, as I was driving up to the building, I looked over here at the big communication tower and said, I've been up there several times. See that dish? See that dish? I put those up there. So, yeah, I have done a lot of that. Well, we're going to try and extend to you my enthusiasm for DXing and chasing radio contacts around the world. That's what I do most. If I got any spare time, and even time that is not spare, I'll go do it anyway. As my wife will tell you, I want to introduce her to you. This is my wife, Carol. She's W7CDR. Raise your hand, hon. And so she tolerates me a lot, I'll have to admit. This becomes an all-consuming hobby. So just out of a show of hands, how many of you have a HF station set up at your house? Well, there's a good sheer bunch of you. How many of you participate in and chase some of the long-range DX around the world? Fewer, smaller set of hands. Okay, well, I'm going to try to inspire the rest of you to quit trying this local stuff and let's start reaching out around the world. It's all fine and good to, in fact, I'm a very frequent user of the 2 meter and 70 centimeter bands. I use them a lot. But my first love of ham radio has been long distance. I was introduced to ham radio when I was 12 years old by my father. I did not actually license myself though until much, much later. I got my first license in 1985. I was a KB7 DAL. I took my novice class, my novice examination on Wednesday, and then took my technician examination on Friday of the same week. And I also took my general and advanced class licenses at the same time. Then it was like 3 years later, something like that, that I actually achieved my 13 word per minute exam and then finished the upgrade to an advanced. But I actually sat for the 20 word per minute code test 3 times. And all 3 times that I sat for it, I missed it by either 1 character or 1 question. So I was just close, you know. And then they dropped the code requirement, and then it was like a moot point. Since then, I've done a lot of CW, and we'll talk about that a little bit. So this is more like, for those of you who have not seen some interesting long-distance communications, I actually have some sound bites for you to listen to some really long-distance communications. And without further ado, we'll take a look at some of it. No, I think I will. There we go. This is actually a good one. Let's see how many of you. I have part of the voice that's listed in this audio bit, and if it's a little loud, to say so, and we'll turn it down. But you want to listen carefully to this, because this transmission was made in 1900. It was originally recorded on wax drums, and then later transcribed onto wire, then later transcribed onto tape, and then later transcribed it digitally until now we got it. And so it's been through a lot, but this is interesting. Okay, anybody hear that? Can you tell what's in? Of course, the first part of it was right here. It was hello, test, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it snowing where you are there, Mr. Thiessen? What was the next line? Yeah. What was the next line? There was another line there. Listen for it. Everybody catch it that time? Nobody? If you can hear me, telegraph back. That was the next line. Now that you know what it is, listen for it. All of a sudden now it's easy. Now that you know what you're listening for, you can pick it out. And admittedly, most HF contacts over very long distances are not that bad. They're not. But you'll run into occasions where they are. And it is a matter of practice and learning. And it's not something that someone can teach you. You just have to sit down and actually do it. And all of a sudden, your brain will be able to decipher information out of the noise that is undecipherable to anybody else who is not practiced. That's what makes a good communicator for it. But they don't have to be that hard. Like, how many of you heard of this place? Diego Garcia? Sure, there's a few of you. And some of these are actually very easy to hear, like this one.
PQ9LA W3YY, Whiskey 3 Yankee Yankee. Okay, Roger, QSL. Sorry, I didn't hear you for the QRM of other people calling. Sorry about that. You're also 5 and 9 here in the state of Virginia. I'm located just outside of Washington, D.C. And the name here is Bob, Bravo Oscar Bravo, BQ9LA. By the way, thanks for the QSO on 10 meters earlier today. W3YY, over.
Oh, Roger. Whiskey 3 Yankee, BQ9LA, 10 meters, AW, Roger.
Yeah, that's Roger.
Yeah, I heard all the QRM on the side there pile up here. It was just like that, 10 meters today. I could get guys in there, but it was rough. There were so many people calling over.
Everybody heard that one okay, I'm sure. You hear BQ9LA? I talked to the same guy. There's my card from him. BQ9LA. It's Diego Garcia. It's 10,165 miles from him. His name is Larry. He's a really nice guy. He's actually over there every year or so. He spends a couple of months over there as military personnel. It's an Air Force base that's there. And so it actually is active on the air quite a long time. This is not the longest distance contact you can make. Everybody know what the antipod is for a Great Circle Route for the U.S.? Everybody know what that means? Okay, there's a few of you. There's basically it says that it is the point on the earth that is the farthest away from here. And we can demonstrate that.
Just keep a positive note and encourage Mike and lower your level.
Everybody's seen these pictures, of course. This is Google Earth, right? Everybody knows what this looks like and so forth. So we're right in here, right? And so we're about right in here someplace, right? Someplace about right in here? Okay. And it really doesn't matter for our purposes. Now let's go all the way around the world.
You can zoom out.
Diego Garcia. Right in here someplace. notice that this route follows the Great Circle, and it actually runs all the way across the top of the earth, comes across through there. And so that Great Circle route is the shortest path to it. And so if we take another one of these, and we go back around to that side of the world again, move this out of the way here. There's a spot on the earth right down here where no matter where you go, right about right there. Of course, there's no land there, so you're not going to contact anything there unless it's a mobile station in a ship or something like that. But it does marine mobile. Yeah, that's a good thought there. But that's the point on the earth that is exactly opposite of us. And so that's the farthest point that you can contact at any one time for it. So here's another one. R1ANF was, they did kind of like a tour of a lot of the islands or the scientific stations through the Antarctic. This particular contact is from the Shetland Islands, which was one that I needed, and so we've got some recordings of this. This is not my contact, I wish, but I do have this card. Okay, everybody, those Morse code proficienters, which call sign did he call? W3YY. It was the same guy that was before. It was off his website that he got these for. I've made several contacts. The Shetland Islands was my first contact with the Shetland Islands, was just last year for it. So that was actually a fun one. There's other places that are really long ways away.